everyone. Welcome to PPR podcast number 225. There is no surprise. Bert, the man sitting between us is?
You can see him. Ezaya, Tokio from Oceanside.
Transfer.
Where did he transfer from?
He played at St. Augustine, then transferred to Oceanside. Oceanside, he had to sit out a while. This is how good he is. Mm-hmm. He sat out the bulk of the season, was injured for another game, blah, blah, blah. He played in a handful of games, piled up big numbers, and that shirt he is wearing is not an accident. Just last week, you haven't officially committed, you verbally committed to Washington, right?
Yes, sir.
So tell us about that, and in the year 2025, how firm is a verbal commitment?
Well, for me, I committed to Washington last week because I just really love them and their coaching staff, and I verbally committed, and to me that means I'm committed. After that, I'm not taking no visits. I'm not going to any other college to go see them. I'm just there. I'm committed to Washington for the whole year.
You say that,
That's crazy, isn't it?
But listen, I respect it. But there's weird things that happen. A coach could change, or a position coach could change, or somebody could back up a truck and say, "Hey, we want to give you X amount of money." And it's a weird world you live in now. Is it not?
Yes, sir. 100%. I understand what you're saying, and I believe this commitment game is very, or this college game is very. It's very different from back then. You could just flip commitments like that. But, for me, if anything changes, then probably I'll just talk it through with the coaches. But I plan on staying committed to Washington this whole year.
Well, hey, did you see how they do it at Washington with the photo ops and the Space Needle and everything? I'm surprised they didn't have the key to the city there for you. When they want you, they pull out, and it looks.
Wait, can I tell you a sad story?
Yeah.
Washington? Easy, listen to this. So I was a 5-star coming out, had 100 offers. The one school that actually sent me a letter and said they weren't interested was Washington. And I never even asked. I got a random letter one day. It was Don James was the coach.
Sure.
Said, hey, thanks
coach.
for your interest. I didn't have any interest. I didn't do anything. And they said, but at this time, we're not interested in you.
So you got 100 offers and one rejection.
Yes, and it was from Washington.
So maybe
all places.
Obviously,
and then they won the national championship. I think my senior year in college. I was like, damn it.
Well, speak to this young man as far as, because you guys are you can give him some positional advice, can you not? You guys both chase the passer.
I think he's much better than me, but I have a couple things. Easy, I messaged you on Twitter and you ghosted me. You want to talk about that? Why you ghosted me? And then I get a screenshot from him where you say thank you, sir, everything else, and I got ghosted. You want to tell me about that?
My bad.
Just my bad, that's all.
All right, but tell, what should he, why is he, now he's only a 3-star recruit, but that's because he didn't play his junior year. If he's a 3-star recruit, can you imagine if he had played the full season? He'd already have 4 for sure, right? And maybe a 5th?
Yeah, and I think today, and Easy, you'll probably agree with this, the star system's more how much you pay to services, how much you pay to go to paid camps, how much you do other stuff. It's not really how you play.
So you can buy a star.
Yeah, you could buy a star without a doubt. Go to all the service camps and the showcases. But I remember we watched you. We came to your El Camino game, and we had PPR that night. I don't know if you remember, but
yeah.
I said, oh, I just watched the best defense player in San Diego.
Why?
Talking about him. He made every play on the field pretty much. Just one of those. It's rare you see, because you're a perimeter player, and you usually put the best guy to the field, and they make every play to that side. But he was making it to both sides, which you never see. So no matter what side he was on, he's still making the play, but you only usually see it on one side. But I remember saying that, and then I messaged you on Twitter, and I was devastated when you responded.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry about
don't
that,
worry
sir.
about that. It just shows you have good taste. But all right. So that involves pursuit. Mm-hmm. You're always worried about the reverse and whatnot. Chasing the ball? Sometimes the game is that simple. See the guy with the ball, go tackle him. Where does that come from? Is that something on the inside of you? Is that something that's been coached? And if so, who do you give credit to?
To be honest, sir, that's something I've always just did, But as a kid coming from Oceanside, the person I've always watched chase that ball is probably Junior Seau, and I really take all that from him, and definitely as a kid, all the coaches that coached me up to teach me to chase the ball and get the ball no matter what until the whistle is blown. I'll probably give thanks to them, and definitely my idol, Junior Seau, for sure.
how big is Seau's presence on campus now? All these years later, I get that he was part of the community and he was bigger than life. He was bigger than football. But can you be a football player at Oceanside and not be aware of the name Junior Seau?
No, you can't, sir. I'm not gonna lie, because not just that, because he set the standard. You know, like he's an NFL Hall of Famer. He went to USC. Like that man is a person that we all look up to, and hopefully to become him one day, or for my sake, probably be better than him.
Damn, better.
Well, I mean, why not try? I mean, it can't happen if you don't try, right?
Yes, sir.
Easy, you know, Junior was my roommate with the Chargers. I got the 55 tattoo here, so I think I actually did compare. I think I compared you to that same night in El Camino because it was interesting watching it. But so tell me, I know Paul doesn't want me to bring up Saints, but you're in Oceanside. What was your decision to go to Saints? Why was that?
Well, my decision back then, you know, I was playing for a youth team called the Boats, and you know, Saints came out to watch me, and you know, I feel like that was the best solution for me, and I feel like God was definitely telling me to go to Saints. And you know, Coach Gladnick, man, he's a great person and a great coach, and you know, I believed in everything that he was teaching, and we believed, and we won a championship there. So you know, I think that was probably the big reason why I went, just because Coach Gladnick and God wanted me there.
So you bring that, like, you pay for the Bolts, so youth football, you go from Oceanside all the way down to San Diego for practice and back every day for youth?
Yeah, I actually did. We drove up there for just to practice, and we even went further for games. Like, we would travel all the way to, like, Las Vegas or Arizona.
Man, that's a haul for daily.
Man, if you guys had kept that team together, that would have been, with all due respect to the Lincolns and the Cathedrals, if that team had stayed together, that was as close to a San Diego super team as we've ever seen.
Yeah, 100%, sir. Yeah, that was probably. I always argue with this too. Like I always argue with like the older generation players. I always say like if this team stayed together, I would put us against any other team. Not gonna lie, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about teams outside the county.
Team,
yeah, I'm talking about, well, it's certainly California teams. But that's neither here nor there. It is what it is. So let's talk about Oceanside. Now,
Can
back.
I ask something real quick?
Hey, you're part of this, dude.
Easy, thank you.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, I know.
Easy, is it true that you play volleyball too?
Yes, sir. Oh well, I only played one season, sir. But yeah, I played volleyball, sir.
For Oceanside, you played on the volleyball team, right?
Yes, sir.
How good were you?
I was really. I wouldn't flatter myself, but I'd say I was pretty good, sir.
Well, I mean, do you play beach volleyball or?
No, just indoors, sir. I only played indoor for one season.
Well, how does that start? All right, how'd that happen?
Actually, you know, man, it was a weird because you know football PE at Oceanside, fourth period PE, and the volleyball coach came to see me. He was like, "You should try out for volleyball," and I was like, "You know what? Why not?" You know, I was like, "Football. I'm not doing anything outside of football season, so I might as well do volleyball." So I was like, "All right, let's do it."
So I assume you got some vertical leap, right?
Yes, sir. 100%.
I don't know if Junior would ever play volleyball.
Yeah. Well, someone would get hurt, but I mean, but still, you can launch spikes into. I mean, you can get that out of your system, right?
100%, sir. Yeah.
Hey, do any pictures of you in a volleyball uniform exist?
Yeah, actually, I have some on my phone.
No, don't send it because unless you want them on social, don't send it.
You're gonna send me those pictures, right?
I got you.
When this is over.
100%.
Promise?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I would ask, but he doesn't respond to me, so you should.
Yeah, you know what he said to me when I asked him? This is what he said to me. I would be honored to be in the podcast.
I saw that, sir.
Yeah.
I saw that.
So I get that you're the 8th pick in the NFL draft. You made oodles of money, this, that, and the other thing. But the kids love me, and for good reason. Hey, I was going to talk about Oceanside. When I came to town, they were the modern. They were modern day and all. Help me out with some of the big schools up in Northern California. Bosco. They were the Bosco of the county. People not only lost to them, but they were afraid to play them. You only had a roster of 26, 30 guys maybe, but boy,
Yeah.
they were men. They weren't boys. That has faded with John Carroll leaving prematurely. That era of Oceanside football is over. But my question to you is it over just for now? Is it coming back? Can we ever see the days of Oceanside years ago?
Yeah, 100%, sir. Yeah, we're definitely bringing it back, sir. Like, no matter what Coach Follett and all this coach staff, I believe we all, like, as a team, we believe in what they're preaching, what they're coaching. And, you can expect this season that Oceanside is back, sir.
Do you guys, when you guys talk, because I always ask this question, with different teams have different standards. When you guys get together and talk, or team, is the goal, do you guys ever talk about winning the Open, or is it just winning Division I, or what's the goal at Oceanside?
It's winning in general, sir. Like, I believe we could take Open, we could take Division I. Like, what we preach and what the coaches speak, the standard is winning. We want a ring, and no matter what division it is, we'll take it.
All right, I got one more question too.
Yep.
All right, Easy, take me into you're going into summer camp, right? You're practicing, and it's one-on-one pass rush time, and it's you and Lincoln.
No, I knew that was coming.
All right, and there's 5 reps. How many are you winning with Lincoln and you?
And we asked him the same question. Do you know what he said?
All 5, I think he said.
No, he said he'd win all 5.
Yeah.
To be honest, sir, me and Lincoln, we always battle. We battle against each other all the time, and it's going to be a great competition. But 5 out of 5, I don't know, sir. I think it'll be a tie for each 5.
When we asked him, he said he'd win all 5 against you.
Yeah, sir. Nah, that's not true.
Hey, I learned this from my buddy here, Bert. We can't do these Zooms without looking at the background. Tell us, who are those pictures in the background behind you? Who is everybody?
So that's me and my little sister, and then like on the left is my sister Catalea, and below that is my brother. And you don't really see over here, but all the way on the left is my auntie's daughter, which her name is Tylee, and we just really love them.
So how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I only have one brother, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't want to spill the beans, but are we doing our game of the week, the first game, or no?
Don't spill the beans.
All right.
But there's potential. There's talk that you might be the inaugural game of the week.
Oh, for the first game, sir?
Yeah. Yeah. Don't call me sir. I'm Paul.
Oh.
You're making me feel like I'm 1,000 years old, dude.
All basically every game for the game of the week is which one's the farthest game from you to drive. So you're the farthest game, so you'll probably be game of the week.
Who do you open against? You open against San Marcos, or who do you open against?
Granite Hills, sir.
Granny. Oh, then I can tell
Then I think it is.
you are the game of the week.
Yeah.
All right, we're spoiling the fun right now.
Wait, is it in Oceanside or Granite?
No, it's in Oceanside.
Yeah, I believe it's in Oceanside, sir.
All right, is the sir come from? Is your dad military or something?
Oh no. I just my parents raised me to be respectful and respect my
Elders, say it. Say elders. Go ahead.
I'm out of here.
I know this is.
I'm done.
You see how you stopped on elders real quick? All right, man.
All right, so
Wait, so as a primer, since we do game of the week, we go up to the school at what, 4 o'clock we start? And then we have guests every 45 minutes?
Yeah.
So I'm going to reach out to you to be a guest to come interview with Paul and I, so you have to respond to this time.
So you're going to be the first guest in the 4 o'clock hour. You owe us. You owe us. Hey, can we go back to the Husky recruiting trip? What was that? What was the connection? Did you know about them before they started recruiting you, or did they know about you before they started recruiting you? Is there a coaching connection, or is it just one of those things that you got a phone call, or how do they do it now? Is it social media that they contact you to come up for a visit?
Yeah, so for when I went to St. Augustine, they actually recruited me at Saints my freshman year, and that's when I got the offer. And for your first 2 years, it's not committable yet, but then they stuck through with me, and even when I transferred to Oceanside, they've been pushing ever since then. And Coach Odom was the coach over there, and Coach Jeff Fisk, and I really loved them, and they really loved me. So I made it happen. We made it happen.
So wait, your freshman year was a totally different staff at Washington than there is now, right?
Yeah. I believe. Well, I mean, the coach at my freshman year was probably, I think it was Robert Balla, and then Coach Odin came in not too long ago. I think this year, and started recruiting me.
Hey, I just want to go back to something because
I want to go back to, you don't want to take any more visits. You don't want to even talk to anybody else. Nothing.
Well, I want to keep the connections open, but since I believe in, I want to grow to be a man of my word, and when I say I commit, I'm committed. So,
and God bless you for that.
Yeah,
Because first of all, that doesn't exist in anybody your age. It doesn't even exist,
with Amish people.
With people that I consider my friends. I mean, that is such, because the second someone comes and offers a better deal, you're gone.
Wow. Well,
I know
about me, but nobody has.
But young man, I respect that in you, and now whether that's the right thing to do, I get it. Life, your athletic career is very short. Your money-making career is very short. This kind of money that we're talking about, so I understand the other side of it. I don't disparage anybody who takes a different view, but I grew up in an environment where you're only as good as your handshake. And if you say you're going to do something, you got to do it. At least you got to show up and play 1 year there before, and see how it plays out from there. But I digress. No one wants to hear me apostolate or
Elder.
preach.
Okay.
Preach. Yeah, go do your thing.
Easy. I ask this question every week. Because I still haven't really got an answer, but you're involved in it. Why do you think San Diego State, none of the big recruits in San Diego, go to San Diego State or consider San Diego State at this point, where it used to be totally different? I mean, they get whoever they want. What do they need to fix there, you think, to change that?
Well, in my opinion, sir, I just think, the conference that they're in and, Washington, big difference. It's the Big Ten versus Mountain West.
Well, it'll be Pac-12 / Mountain West pretty soon, but I get your point. I mean, it's visibility, right?
Yeah, and I think the Big Ten and probably the SEC are the two biggest conferences right now, and I just believe that they're doing a great job, but it's just the conference. They can't really do anything about it.
Do they? Because you said you got offered by Washington when you were a freshman. They're obviously on you the whole time. Was San Diego State on you as much as Washington?
Yes, sir. They were on me. Yeah, they were on me, but they not as much as Washington was.
See, that's part of the problem. You got a kid right in your backyard, and you're not on him as much as a
but I mean,
away.
I get that. I get that, but I mean, when you're on a budget, maybe you have to pick your battles, and
he got a freshman year. There was no NIL then. There was no budget. He got offered by Washington freshman year.
You don't think NIL existed?
Did NIL exist when you were a freshman?
It was. Well, it started becoming. Yeah, it was coming up for sure, but it didn't really exist my freshman year.
All right. Hey, I wanted to ask you a question because the reason why we're out of contact you said you were camping?
Oh yes, sir. Yeah, I was camping at the Oceanside beach, and we have a trailer, and we just parked it over there and had Porches Live for the whole weekend.
So what do you do? Is it just a family?
Volleyball.
Yeah, the family and family friends. They all come down and we all just chill, have a great Porches Live at the beach, and it was really fun.
Oceanside's got this reputation, or it used to have this reputation of being a hard-nosed, military town. But then you go up there, and now the main drag is like
La Jolla.
And then you forget you grew up on the beach. I mean, the kids living in the Bronx are probably thinking, "Oh yeah, how tough could it be? The beach is 4 blocks away, no matter where you live in Oceanside." Tell us about growing up in Oceanside. What's your favorite part? What part did you not like?
Man, to be honest, grow up in Oceanside, it's an honor. It's a gem. It truly is a gem. The community here is very tight knit. Everyone knows everybody, and everyone loves and supports everybody no matter what they do. And there's nothing I don't love about this city. This city was especially growing up in Oceanside, playing football and knowing the background of Oceanside High School. That background it runs deep, and especially like looking up to all those players, and I know all those players that played back then. It's just such an honor,
I believe it. I
And then-
believe it. I've been around for only 27 years of it, but I've witnessed the loyalty the kids show to the program. And I mean, how often does an Oceanside kid leave Ocean?
Not often, no.
I mean, I can't even.
Especially not to go to El Camino, which is another question. How long has it been since we've seen a really good El Camino team and a really good Oceanside team
In the
actually
same
play?
calendar year?
In the same calendar year, and we got that coming up this year.
Yeah.
Talk about that, because we went to the rivalry last year, and it was pretty intense, I would say.
Yeah, because I don't
And
know.
then you guys lost in the last second, right, on that throw?
Yes,
Man.
painfully, yes.
Yeah, but to me, a rivalry can't just be on the field or it just can't be in the stands. It has to be in both places, and you could feel that it was in the stands, it was on the field.
Yeah, for sure. And that rivalry is going to be big this year, especially because Oceanside EC, that rivalry is very big, and especially in Oceanside. And we have a lot of friends, Oceanside and EC. We have a lot of friends that go to EC. We always just joke around and just talking smack to each other. But once we hit that field, we're not friends.
So because Paul and I are so far removed from high school, but I remember that game, and I remember I left it third quarter to get back to the studio, and you guys were easily better than them. No offense to them, but you guys are easily better. And then I remember coming back and seeing you guys lost. When knowing it's your
By the time
rivalry.
you got here,
By the time I got here, I'm like, what? Because you were dominating them, to be honest with you, especially you. But what is that like? Because that had. Tell us about the locker room afterwards. I mean, now the wound's healed. What was that like when you come back in the locker room after losing that game?
It was sad. I mean, it wasn't. It was very tense, But since we lost, I feel like we took that with a grain of sand, and we took that loss and we took it throughout the whole season. And I feel like that loss not only just it made us have some type of grit and made us kind of play better throughout the season.
Yeah, and it was crazy because it was just a crazy play because the coverage was perfect. The kid covered him perfect.
Yeah.
It was just this perfect throw, this perfect everything. The coverage was perfect, and I was like, man, how do you stop that?
Yeah, 100%.
Hey, Bert brought something to my attention that I should have known about. That was what we talked about this morning on our sportscast with Bert. There are right now 6 Big Ten schools that have either a San Diego quarterback or will soon have a San Diego quarterback. Are recruiting 6 guys in one conference, all from San Diego. What does that say about San Diego football? We're talking just about one position. There are going to be 6, from Keely Smith to Sayan to Cash Herrera to Rylan Jesse to Troy Hune. I mean,
Jackson Stratton.
Wow. I mean, what does that say about San Diego football, young man?
Well, to me, I always looked at it like this. I always thought San Diego football was always slept on. We all know, especially everyone in San Diego, we all know that we have dogs, and I believe that San Diego football is just as tough as LA football. I think we just need to have the chance to play against those teams.
We left out Julian Sain.
No, I said Sayan.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, I mean, Sayan will be, holy moly. I mean, he'll be playing against Texas. Can you believe it? Just
Yeah. It used to be you'd have 1 or 2 kids would go to college, and now it seems like we have 5 stars. We have 6 guys in the Big Ten at quarterback.
Hey, listen, we want to wrap this up. We said we'd keep you only for 25 minutes. I want to honor my word. But before we go,
4:45 at the first game for your interview.
All right. He's going to respond to me. I'll ask
I
him.
know. Well, you know what Paul will,
All right,
because obviously
young man, as we wrap this up, who's the best advice? What is the best advice you've received in your career, and who gave it to you, and what was it?
Well, football-wise, I'll probably say
Life-wise, it could be anything.
Well, I'll probably say Coach Glanick was probably a good person that gave me inspiration. Oh, it gave not just me, but this whole team. We were complaining one day about practice and how hot it was, and we were just running. And then he stopped practice, and he just said, there's a kid out there in Louisiana playing and practicing running in 110 degrees. And, you know, do you think he's complaining right now about how hot the weather is or how hard it is? No, he's working right now to achieve his goals and dreams. And I think that was probably one of the biggest advice that was given to me because, you know, we're not I feel like we over here we just take stuff for granted. And I definitely believe like I opened my eyes to the world where there's not just dogs here where I'm playing, there's dogs everywhere and everyone wants to achieve the same goal. So I believe that was probably one of the biggest ways of advice I was giving me.
Don't take a day off because there's somebody somewhere
That isn't.
who isn't.
Yeah.
And is grinding. And I'll tell you what, as tough as your practices are, they're a lot tougher. And can you imagine practicing in Baton Rouge or, geez, it's probably,
Even Pennsylvania, when I would do it, it was,
man, that's just
we all know
barbaric heat.
90% humidity is here.
That's just nuts.
Yeah.
All right, well, listen, we're going to let you go. What are you going to send me as soon as we hang up here?
Volleyball picture.
God bless. Send it. Can you email them to prudy@kosi.com? Don't text
Yes, sir.
them because it just saves me time if you email them to me. And the way it works, I'm going to post this raw on YouTube in a little bit, and then I'll start clipping up the other bits as soon as I get some pictures from you about volleyball. That's one of the clips.
What else you need?
And then I'm going to pull that clip from Lincoln talking about how he would dominate
You dominate him?
Tokio, and then, hey, just out of curiosity, where does that name Tokio come from? Tell me about the history of the name.
Well, to be honest, I'm not too fond of the history, but I know it's Samoan and it comes from Samoa, I guess.
Well, I was just curious.
I don't know where Grossman comes from. Where's Rudy come from?
Rudy, my dad, my father's father came through Ellis Island, and his name was Rudj. It's R-U-D-J. He was Ukrainian.
Really?
No, yeah, Ukrainian. And when they came through Ellis Island, the guy mistook the J for a Y and changed his name to Rudy.
I thought you were Italian all this time.
I am. I'm a prosy. But I'm talking about the name Rudy you asked me about, not my name. You asked me name. Anyway.
Wait, you
All
have
right.
a different name than your grandfather has?
No. No, I'll tell you about
Are you
it.
going to tell me you're adopted next?
I am. I was.
All right.
I was. But
Sorry, Easy.
I stayed in the orphanage longer than any other kid. I set the record. All right. Now I have to go into therapy.
I know.
All right. Hey, it's been an honor to talk to you. You know, for a second there, I thought I was going to have to get a last-second replacement, but turns out you've been a gem to talk to.
Feel
young
my
man.
pain. That's what my pain is.
All right. So I look forward to sitting down with you for the first game of the season. Stay healthy. Keep your wits about you. Make sure you choose your friends wisely and stay safe. Don't do crazy stuff. You got too much positive stuff ahead of you, so don't make a stupid decision between now and then, okay?
Are you talking to me or him?
I'm talking to him
Oh,
because
I
I
feel
know
like
what
I
it's
need
like
the
to be a
same
kid.
advice.
You're looking at two guys who made stupid decisions, and we're interviewing you, you know, so don't make any stupid decisions. And God bless you for joining us, and have a safe day, okay?
Yes, sir. You guys too. You guys have a nice day.
All right,
Thank
PPR Podcast 225 is over. Turn off the machines.
Sure. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Nice kid.
Great kid.